Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of To Live and Buy in LA. I am one of your hosts, Zach Goldsmith, and this is Finkelstein.
That's me, Ben Finkelstein.
We are blessed to have, for our first ever guest, I'm super excited about this, we had to go big. She's a legend, a huge force in the business, a household name across the globe. You are now. Wow. You got to get used to it. She has a very famous and accomplished family. You're a powerhouse at one of the biggest real estate companies in the world. And your mom has starred on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for over a decade, it seems. And you've been on the show, I think, also. I have. You now have earned your own, with your family, Netflix show. With us at the agency called Buying Beverly Hills. And season 2 will be predicated on how this podcast goes. Ladies and gentlemen, she is also the star of Ben's Most Scandalous Dreams.
It's true.
Oh my God, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Farrah Brittany, Aluja, Mohammed, Karim, Abdul, Jabbar, you have so many names I don't know what to do.
You're right.
Farrah,
that was
just one.
The nicest introduction anyone's ever given me. Thank you. I'm literally turning red.
It was also the longest.
Oh, it was my most exciting introduction.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here with you guys. I hope we're going to have a lot of fun, or is it just going to be... all biz.
If he was in the middle, it would be all biz. So.
No, look, today, just so everyone kind of knows what we're going to cover, this is not going to be like a standard interview of Farrah, which other people have seen before. We are, of course, going to talk about what it's like being a part of your family and how that bleeds into work. Then we'll go into Buying Beverly Hills a bit and probably finish on some of the ways that you individually and in a nuanced way approach your business. So... Okay. Shall we?
I think I can handle those things.
Shall we?
We shall.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
I think we get into it right away because that's what we're all here for. You have created and established a presence on your own. You come from a really famous and well-accomplished family. Paris Hilton, Nikki Hilton, you're not only your cousins, you're besties.
She's a professional at branding. And I think she gets a lot of credit now. Like they literally teach about her at Harvard and all these schools.
Is that right?
Yeah.
She invented
she invented the selfie. She basically invented creating a brand out of yourself. She invented getting paid to party. Hello, no one paid you to go to clubs, and she literally invented that. So, there's a reason that she's an icon, but I have so many stories. The real her is one of the most funniest, charming, like you hang out with her and you're like, oh, this is why you're a star.
That's funny.
She's
she
a
doesn't
unicorn.
show the funny.
She's a unicorn. She is the funniest person I know.
Would you give her the aux cord in your car since she's a DJ?
Oh yeah. And she will, I wouldn't even have a shot in hell if we're driving around. That's the first thing she does.
She takes over the music.
Brings, we'll go out and she'll have a suitcase we have costumes and clothes changes. She's the best.
Amazing.
And obviously an amazing businesswoman.
It's pretty impressive what she's created. And a lot of people gave her shit in the beginning, like the Kardashians, for reaching this level of celebrity and success based on nothing. But this is obviously, especially what you're describing, not based on nothing. This is the new norm for the mega celebrity. She has created and carved out her own niche, right?
Yeah. She's had many fragrances. She's had nightclubs, clothing lines, everything. But I remember we were on a plane going to Europe and I'm dressed in sweats looking homeless. And we get off the plane and she's also like that. And then she changes in the bathroom and we're getting off the plane and suddenly she's head to toe, Paris Hilton sunglasses, jeans,
oh my God,
heels. And I'm like, why did you do that? We're just getting off the plane and going to the hotel. And we walk outside and there's a million paparazzi and there I am. And I'm
pajamas.
And she is always wearing her brands and not just for show, even when no one's around. So yeah.
When she's changing on the PJ like that, or even just being a part of the family and all of her success, does that add pressure for you as a cousin, or does it make it less, do you think?
Not at all. I was always just oh my God, her wins are all of our wins. And I think she's so cool. Wow. And no pressure at all. But then people start asking me this question in the last year about like identity, and it must be so hard to create your own identity when you have your mom and your stepdad and your cousins and like these strong personalities, your aunts, like lights. Everybody. And then I was like, why? But then I was thinking, well, maybe subconsciously, and I haven't realized, but I never ever thought of it that way.
Well, I mean, I think it would be easy for you, an easy route to really like brand towards Umansky, but you use your dad's name. You know?
Well, actually, I use my middle name.
Oh yeah, use your middle name
for the exact reason.
Yeah, use your middle name.
I do because it's
do your research. Do your research.
Sorry, I meant that you use your middle name.
I think you just go by one name from now on.
Just
like Madonna.
Yeah.
There's no other Farrah in the business like you.
There's actually one here. Exactly. But besides her.
It's one R.
Yeah,
I know it because I did deal with it recently.
Exactly. It's one R.
You should just be Farrah.
Okay.
But, speaking of the image created, I found watching this show you to be extremely poised and professional.
Super composed.
Very composed. You came off extremely well. And I also only saw that one side of you on the show. Well, no, I saw you actually broke down. I saw other sides, but like, I guess I know you in a more intimate way. Watch your mouth. You do. And we've been friends for a long time. And I think like there's another side of you that the show didn't showcase as much. You don't always sit this straight.
Just right now, so you can get enough mic.
But has the show changed? Has it changed you, how you do business, how you go about yourself? Do you need to be Paris getting out of the plane now when you walk out of your house?
No, definitely not. If anything, I knew that the one thing I told myself going into the show is try not to be so fucking composed all the time. Because that is my default if I want to make sure I'm maintaining my professionalism and all of that stuff. I just get pretty serious. So I was like, just please don't be so serious. Like, can't let yourself show your funny side, let yourself let loose. But apparently I couldn't that easily.
Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think that's your default?
I'm the first child. I am
deep.
I work with my stepfather who's very successful. So it's like I always feel the need to prove, and I don't want people to think that it was all handed. Sure, I have to acknowledge my privilege 100 million %. I would not be where I am without him, and with a lot of opportunities that I was given. However, so I think that is why I go pretty serious. Like I always feel like I need to overcompensate and prove. So
I think both Zach and I in showings in the room, we tend to be on the light side. We start like doing stand up. Both of us are really light. And I've had people before actually that were on the more serious side where they felt like that was actually being like, well, not for you. I'm just saying they've said to me, I'll be specific, a past girl that I used to date who said that was like me being like really unprofessional. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's pros and cons to both. Like, I think it's a compliment that you're saying I'm poised and all of that. That's great. But also, I don't want to just be like just that.
Sure.
Well, we all battle that. Like I battle that in showings with certain people. Like I had a client say to me the other day, we were in a meeting with a major architect, and it was very serious. He's got $70 million on the line. And the guy asked him if he wanted coffee. And I was like, yeah, make it a double latte, up, down, down. He goes, I thought it was funny. And it was cute. And he goes, why are you fucking around right now? I got a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Oh, he got pissed.
It was, we were with Adam Rosenfeld in the room too. And Adam was like, calm down. Like, what are you serious? What the fuck's going on?
He said that?
Yeah,
for real?
It was weird. And then he was like, sorry, I got a lot of money on the line here.
But are you the type of person then after you're like, fuck, why did I do that? Or you're just like, whatever.
No, definitely
not.
On. Because I feel like I was raised in a British household, so I have some manners, and I feel like I've got some poise, even though I don't sit up straight or eat like it. But I feel like I have a level of respect for people in general, and I can read the room enough where I'm gonna not be not just be like, I think we all have different gears, is what I'm saying.
No, just internally though. You're not beating yourself up after.
No. But I can switch gears pretty easily and read the room. But my whole goal this year is what I think you do so well when the camera's not on, especially. And I think you showcase beautifully on the camera. And this other side is like how genuine. No, really, like she's a beautiful person inside. And that, like, I love seeing that. I love seeing when it comes out in me. I don't think I've seen it ever in you. That level of genuineness is like that level of authenticity is what I go for and what I strive for in everything I do. So if I'm not showing, I want to be funny, I want to be authentic, I want to be intelligent, I want to be informative.
Yeah, your whole self.
My whole self.
You want to show up as
so I'm
your
not
full
gonna,
self.
and I'm never going to apologize for
That's
that.
amazing. See, I need to work more on that because in that situation, I'd probably be freaking out for the next 24 hours. Bashing myself.
I mean, also, like, it comes with mileage. Like, feel versus real they're not always connected. So you being out of your shell a little bit one day probably feels a lot scarier than what people are perceiving it as.
Like right now.
Yeah, I hope not. Wait, so let's turn to the show for a second. Let's talk about buying Beverly Hills.
Let's get back to your show, you mean? Is that what you mean?
No, I have no questions for me in our notes. But what I'm curious about is, has it, because I mean, look, you already had, I'm just guessing, probably somewhere around 500,000 followers on one social platform. So okay, let's separate this. How has the show affected your life, if at all?
Outwardly, not too much has changed. I mean, a lot more followers, a lot more people reaching out saying like, oh my God, you were so in the background of your mom's show and we had no idea like who you were.
Yeah.
And it's so great to get to know you. And I was like, oh wow, they even saw through the serious composed side, and so many people being like, oh my God, such a breath of fresh air that you're not like overly dramatic. But it was still nice to have like an outpouring of really mostly positive messages.
Yeah. And because of your mom's just preeminence in the reality world, you guys are naturally a target for the trolls. I mean, they go hard on you guys.
For sure.
So,
I mean, there were some, negative comments too, for sure.
Do you
the
read
nepotism
those?
And
like, how does that work? Do you keep it on mute or silence, or what do you kids call it? When you can't comment? Because I imagine you get a lot of incredible comments because you have a great presence on the screen. So you'll have that, but you'll always, the bigger you get, you'll have more haters. You've got to have a lot.
Well, I'm reading now because they're nice comments.
Oh, yeah.
I was obsessively in the beginning, but if they start getting nasty, then there's no way.
Yeah, Twitter can be pretty brutal. But okay, so now the second part of this.
I imagine you get a lot harder than her.
No, mine's been pretty good so far. Yeah, it's been mostly good, but I think it's because I'm not coming from that same pedigree that you are. I'm kind of new on the scene. Like, I think you're probably unjustifiably held to a certain standard just because of, like you said, where you come from and your affiliation, your familial affiliation. What about business? Anything different?
I mean, a lot more calls, a lot of weirdos, a lot of fraud people. I happened to launch my website. Plug around the same time.
What is it, please?
FarrahBrittany.com.
Okay.
And I'm seeing like a lot of signups for my newsletters and stuff like that, which I imagine has something to do with the show, but no deals yet. I thought it was going to be like, oh my God, the phones are just going to be a flood,
It seems like you're also building the infrastructure for when it starts to flow in.
And also, I mean, I already have. When people come to me, usually they preface everything with, this is probably too small of a deal for you, but XYZ. And I'm always like, no, nothing's too small.
Is that true? It's not, never be too small?
I'm not that picky. I'm just, I just,
for you.
No, I it's hard for me to turn down deals. So I think that maybe people watching the show, who knows, maybe they're intimidated to reach out, but call me, guys.
Jesus, now it's her show.
Oh my God.
My God.
What about showing your relationship on camera? What was that like?
That was highly stressful for me.
Really?
Highly, yeah.
Well, you had huge news on the show. It's not like you just showcased your relationship.
Yeah, but that happened in real time, which means everything leading up to it, which turned into a storyline naturally, because of course the producers want to know what's happening in our lives, and then they're like, oh, you don't really know what your next step is? Like, we need to find out. And everyone needs to find out. And everyone needs to talk about it. And I was like, that's just not fair to him, because he's not asking to be talked about on TV by everybody. So that gave me immense anxiety, but
they
turned out, I guess, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point on the show where I was like, okay, guys, like this is my life here. You know?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And I appreciated their excitement and their enthusiasm. And there were moments after we wrapped where I was saying like, the producers actually really accelerated a lot of conversations that I was avoiding in my relationship at the time, and also with ownership and management here, which I was a little grateful for, but also there were days that I came out of filming where I wasn't sure if I felt like a cathartic release or I was just like, what is going on here? And I want to be clear, I didn't feel ambushed, but they were like, no, this is interesting. Stop being a bitch. Be a man. And let's go deep. And like I said, sometimes I come out of it really wigged out. And then other times I felt like, wow, I really should have done that myself.
I felt exactly the same.
So I guess the good news for me is that, I guess I shouldn't say the good news is my personal relationship was not shown, but the camera like doesn't lie, so like anything that goes on with people's personal lives, it's up there. For sure. I actually really applaud you for being like as vulnerable as you were on the show, and
thank you.
And I thought Alex like was really great too, just kind of going through it all with his like Italian accent.
He's not like, Italian.
I know, but he's from New York.
He's not from New York. He's from London.
Well, so is he? None of these people sound
What's
like
wrong
they're
with you
from
people?
London.
I don't know, but why does this feel like some odd show date? Like this is building an affair for next season.
Oh my God. Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
No.
This is why I feel like I could leave.
Okay.
Moving right along. I get it from my 12 seconds on the show.
Oh yeah, you on the show too. Wait, did you have any
we're gonna get him on.
You wouldn't have seen me unless you have a VCR and a pause button.
Was that all part of your master plan?
It's all part of the master plan.
Oh yeah, it was my scene with Zach on Buying Beverly Hills was literally him recruiting me. He didn't realize it was a reverse recruit coup.
It really was.
Reverse recruital.
Recruital. We put the reverse recruital over here.
Wait, I want to ask one more question of her.
Wait, I have more questions too.
Wait, we're done?
Okay, no, I want to ask one more question
about
the show.
Out of here, huh?
No, yeah, then I gotta go.
Anyway.
In the finale, you tell Mauricio that you don't want to manage people, and he says, well, if you don't want to manage people, you don't get to be CEO.
Oh, I should have seen this one coming.
So
is that your best Mauricio, by the way?
It's terrible.
You guys are both terrible.
No.
He does not have an accent.
Let's just stay focused.
I'm terrible?
That's the
It's
only
amazing.
You're yelling.
No, that part, yes. But the accent, I just don't hear an accent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you hear an
He's your
accent?
dad.
No.
Like you don't hear it because you live with the guy.
It's a 50-50. Some people say.
So my question for you is, how have things...
I know what I'm talking about, and he has got an accent.
How have things changed since the show was filmed over a year ago now?
A lot of changes. A lot of changes with how we operate our team, with how we run our team. I've implemented a lot of new systems. We've added on to the team.
So you feel a little less pressure?
For sure. Like we've been getting our ducks in a row, and they're still getting in a row. But thank God I can say, this many months later, we've made a lot of progress.
Your social media has got to be a huge anchor of all this marketing, right? And you were talking about increased followers. How many followers have you gotten since the show? It's just shows you the power of the...
I don't even... Well, if you think of some of the shows on... I mean, I don't know if this is a lot or little, but like 150,000.
Since the show started.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little to me, but a lot to some.
I mean, some I've seen like jump millions overnight. So, but it felt crazy. Every day it was like going up by 10,000.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how do you harness that? Like, how do you harness that for your business is a question I have. And do you,
I was like, is Zach rebooting? I couldn't see your face.
Rebooting.
He's like in a Windows blue screen for a second there. I was like, what happened to Zach? I was looking. I was like, is he seizing?
I went down for a second.
Because I can't see your face.
No, I think my face was.
I was like, down goes Frazier.
No,
where were we?
We were on social
harness.
media. How do you harness it, and how do you determine? Do you run your own social media? I have 100 social media questions because it's really interesting. Do you put your personal life, your business life? I got too many. You got your personal life, your business life. How do you determine which it's going to be? Do you have a separate account? Go.
Oh, okay. I have one account because we're all, I think it's like the hub for our personal brands.
No
and
Finsta?
No Finsta. I don't have a Finsta. No.
Not even
No, I don't like to. No. Why would I want to do that?
Most gals I know have a Finsta.
Why? So they can just be triggered and
so they
miserable?
can be stalking.
Do you know what
I don't like
Finsta
stalking.
is?
I don't do stalking.
Really?
I didn't think you did. I was
fake
worried.
Instagram.
Okay, so please continue. Okay, so you manage the
If I'm
account.
gonna
I'll tell you what it is
someone,
later.
I'll do it. And I'll be like, I'm stalking you, and that's fine. Like they can see the views, but I don't stalk people.
Okay, fine.
Anyways, so I have one Instagram. I do everything on my own. I mean, it's not like I deserve an award or anything.
No, yeah.
But if you look
Well
back,
done, Farrah.
I know. If you look back, you'll see I try to do like a 1-to-1 balance, like picture, personal, real estate. But people don't. A lot of my audience doesn't necessarily want to see
real estate as much.
Which kind of
What are you?
sucks.
Are you posting just like a picture of a house, or is it a video of you going through the house?
Depends.
And I imagine you get a lot better feedback when it's you showcase going through the house.
Yeah, and I used to refuse
video.
to do that until recently. I did one client, and it was like they were so happy. Then I was like, okay, I'll do
did
another
two
one.
with you.
Yes,
to warm
we
you
did.
up.
No, but that was a tour, not like
But we toured
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
You toured me through.
yes. But I'm talking about for my own listings.
No,
like
totally.
I try to just do the video with the house. And
He's going
then
to pull himself back into it. Go ahead.
I realized that it actually does much better if I'm in it. So now I've gotten a lot more comfortable.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, but since the show, I don't
yeah.
do the 1-to-1 balance anymore. I just do whatever goes.
Really?
I heard a
And
real.
do you do it
ahead.
on a weekly basis, bi-weekly? Do you have a pattern?
What
Because
now?
I'm sure you have a clock that's set.
I
that wakes
used to
you
be
up in the middle of the
so-
night to post
I don't post.
I change all my methods all the time. Like I used to like do exactly that, like every 3-4 days and this and that. And like listing in the week and personal on the weekends for the most views and likes. And now I don't do that. I think that look, social media is very important, 100%. But I think I've had social media fatigue recently.
I think that's okay. You can get in lulls and you should back out and then come back. It's
Yeah.
like anything. You get greater appreciation when you pull back a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But that is a great platform for you. And I think, again, showcasing, like I have struggled. I don't know if you have, you're all business. I have struggled between personal and business. And should I have a personal account, a business account? I don't really give enough of a shit to just have a business account. I don't think it's interesting enough. I think people are buying into the persona.
Yeah, they want the
character
whole
of
picture.
anyone. If
Like
even my banker, I want him to crush at what he does, but I want to enjoy talking to him and hanging out with him. And like that's like I think like you get to a point where you're fortunate enough to work with your friends and everyone is crushing and everyone's like doing this high level shit that's exciting. And
For sure.
that's
You should
that
not
becomes
have
part of your life, and that
separate
becomes
one.
just part of who I am. If you want it, buy it. If you don't, please.
Who's not
buy
going to
it.
love your impersonation videos? Like, oh, this guy's funny and I want to work with him. So
Can I show when I grab him and kiss him on the mouth all night?
definitely.
The most prolific real estate coaches generally say that active pending solds should only be like 30% of your posts.
Oh, really? Only 30?
That's it.
Okay.
Because people don't really care that much. I guess maybe the person that's following you that's an active buyer maybe cares a little if the post is in that hood or on that street. Otherwise, it's kind of boring. And like you said, people really want to connect with who you are personally, because in our business, because the home is such an asset, probably the asset with the most novelty and emotions attached to it. They want to make sure that they hire someone that fits into that puzzle
Definitely.
in their mind.
I think the real estate part is a huge component, though, because it's also real estate porn. People love seeing properties, I think, more than we think. So I think the
we
more
don't
interesting
realize.
ways you can take them through something, through the experience they're already like getting off to,
Yeah.
is better. And that showcases, I find, it's beginning to showcase me and the property.
Well, that's why, video is so much more enticing. But those boring, just pictures don't really do it.
So
Yeah.
should we move on to the coaching?
Well, you
portion?
did mention coaching.
Yeah.
I'm really
Okay.
interested to know, because you just brought up coaching as 30% of what you should post.
Let's go to transition.
Or flash before my eyes.
Reboot.
I have not gotten into coaching, mainly because I see how his life is and I don't want anything to do with it. But then I've come to learn recently that you have been in coaching, and it's made me rethink my entire life.
No, I've been doing coaching for, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years now. I was coaching with the great Steve Schultz for like 2 years and changed my life 100%. This guy was, he's incredible.
No, I know him from my teleseries. He's like a drill sergeant.
He's a drill sergeant. He just finds like really what you need at your core. It's all mindset. He's not going to tell you, if you should put your picture on your business card. That's an inside joke from coaching or any of that stuff.
Thanks.
He is going to really see like the things that are lacking and really push you. Like,
but he pushes prospecting and contact, right?
I'm talking one-on-one coaching, but he says like we all overcomplicate so many things, and that really just goes back to like it's pretty simple. Like talk to as many people as possible and follow up and take care of your mindset and take care of your energy, and everything else will fall into place. And I really couldn't wrap my head around that because you realize like how many excuses, how many things that we can think are really important and are really like your escrows and your showings and all the incoming stuff. Like you think like that's the most important thing. And he would just say like, none of that's important. And I'd be like, what? And then really what he's just saying is, if you prospect enough, you get enough deals, you make enough money, you hire a team.
You build a team to help
with all the other stuff.
And you're out there doing what you do best.
Exactly. But then there's something to be said. My coach now, I'm coaching with Jason Ferris, who's part of the Tom Ferry ecosystem, right? That's what they call it.
Oh, head to head, huh? You went
totally
two
different.
heavyweights.
Well, because I felt like I wanted to actually get into more of the systems part, and we actually needed more organizations, as you can see from the show and some of our challenges. So now this is a lot about actually getting the systems in place and dialed in. Very important too. But I think you should talk to Steve. And you have very great success with Tom, obviously, and you're lucky enough to
Two coach. Totally different methods.
Both incredible.
Yeah, they're both great.
Do they make you role play and do all that? Because I can't deal with
Not yet.
You don't have to, but we did in Steve's coaching, and it was the hardest thing ever for me because I want to be the best at everything I do. I studied the book like a nerd, also like everything I do. I knew all about it. But then when you get on the call 5 p.m. with 100 people and Steve is telling me, he's always putting me up at the front of the line. Sometimes I would literally just hang out the phone.
No way.
Yeah, no one starts really good at it.
You're on a call with 100 people and he calls you up and you start speaking.
No, you don't understand.
I love it.
I'd be thinking the night before, like, oh, please, Steve, don't call on me tomorrow. I can't do this. Like, I need to have the perfect thing to say. I need to do this exactly right. Like, I want to be a master. How come I can know it intellectually, but in the moment I get so tripped up. So sometimes he would call on me.
Because there's added variable of audience and coach.
I would hang up the phone, and then the shame, the anxiety that I feel after that, I just that's why I stopped coaching, because I couldn't deal with like the guilt that I felt that I wasn't like always meeting the expectations.
You did grow up in a Jewish household, the guilt you felt.
I know. I don't know where that is. I just found out I'm 4% Jewish from my dad's side, which is crazy.
4% Jewish from your
only
biological dad. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's
I'm
insane.
24% Asian. I found that. Well, at least my brother's 23 and me. I don't know how that relates, but if I do Asian characters now, it's cool because
I want to say one thing that I noticed in what you were saying, which is I think that most agents in the beginning, because they don't have a steady deal flow as we all do, they become incredibly reactive to all the points of the escrow because they really just want to get them to the finish line because of either the credibility they're going to get or the check that they're going to get. So I think when we're birthed into this business and our mind is sponge-like as toddlers are, we start getting these habits mostly, which are reactive habits. And then to really get over the hump, I think you really touched on it, what Steve was saying to you is that, hey, let's not be reactive to escrow emails first thing in the morning. Let's not turn to our phone.
Yeah, take control of your day kind of thing.
Yeah, let's get a peak mindset by maybe exercise, affirmations, meditation, read a few pages first
manifesting.
Manifesting. Then go prospect when your willpower's strongest, your mind's best. And then at 11, 10 or 10:30, look at the escrow emails, because those deals are either going to close or they're not. But the hardest part is the things that are, like you were saying earlier, like, oh, I had all these reasons, or mostly I think most salespeople feel solicitory. So they're like, I don't want to make this move. But if you can do that thing first thing, you're right. Everything, sales cures all. So if you can figure out ways to keep talking to people, as you were saying, I think that's the difference that some real estate agents actually never cross, and some that are so quick to say, I've been doing this for 30 years. They're still extremely reactive. Right.
There's so many roadblocks that we put up, for sure. But you said a lot of things in there, but including like, we a lot of in the things. Beginning, like there's like a desperation. You got to get the deal done. The check, you need to not disappoint your client. It's all up to you. Like the whole world is on your shoulders. And in the past few years, that weight has like come off my shoulders, but just because I've become so detached from like the end goal of being like closing the deal. Obviously, if we want to close the deal, I want happy clients and all of that. But I really realize like it's not really only reliant on me. I can just do like the absolute best job I can do. I can guide the best way I can. And I'm really good at guiding and negotiating. But I don't have to feel like if this deal doesn't happen, that it was all my fault. So if you can have some level of detachment, really takes the pressure off. And usually the result is you'll close a deal and make the money.
The funny thing about detachment with the results is I find oftentimes, and I've talked about this with you before, with kind of that what's next mentality, and also John Grauman, where it's like we manage our expectations so much as professionals because we've seen deals go awry for so many different reasons that by the time it closes, we're so managed that sometimes we forget to celebrate the wins. And I feel like that too can be a mindset challenge. Like we're often, we forget, or then we run over and pinball over to that other deal that's on fire.
Well, you congratulated me on one of the other episodes of that mega Enchanted Hill sale. And I noticed myself, like, I should be happy and excited. And I just thought, what's next?
Well, that's the thing. Well, Mauricio always says, as real estate agents, we're only as good as our last deal, or so I think. And that's kind of true. And I was talking to someone about this earlier today. Like, he asked me about like my price points, and I said I actually take all kinds of different price points. And
that wasn't for you.
What I just said before, which was no deal's too small. But I said, I don't know. I told him, like, I don't know if it's just like this scarcity mentality sometimes, or like, even though like I'm always thinking like, oh my God, what if I never sell a house again? Like a lot of agents feel like that, but it always happens, like something, you get that call or whatever.
I want to talk to Mauricio about this. I don't know if I agree with you're only as good as your last deal.
No, because he said that because
fair preface with maybe it's not entirely correct.
Yeah, he's seen so many people sell a house and then they're out of the office for a month because they're on vacation. And he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, they go to Cabo is what he always says.
And he comes back and it would cause a lot of stress in me, but he's still like pushed me, even though I didn't get to the end result of going on, being first on every single call and just wowsing the pants off everyone. Like I still showed up to those calls, and I still got so much further down the road than I would have otherwise. So just saying.
Yeah, so
my point is,
was the role play prospecting role play?
My point is, again, going back to, it's not necessarily about like the perfection and the end of the journey. It really is like tying back to what you guys just said, like actually celebrating the good things that you're doing, or like celebrating your wins. I'm so lucky that I got to sit next to him for all those years, especially when he wasn't as busy as he is now. And just, that's what I was, a sponge, just soaking up everything. And he is definitely a manifester, but not in like, he's not like writing down manifestations, but I think he's just always been like that. So has my mom. They've always been like that, and he's naturally super optimistic, and he has just an inner calm confidence when I think the whole world is falling down, everything's on fire. He literally just tells me like, so what? Everything's going to be fine.
You can't give him bad news.
And that's all I need to hear. And I'm like, oh, we're good. We're good. Like, he calms people down.
You can't train.
He really does.
You can't practice that.
Yeah. So I've just been lucky enough to be in proximity of it.
It's something you'll never have.
I calm people down all the time.
Watch him.
Zach, why don't we do our lightning round?
Okay, a lot of people are actually asking questions ahead of time because we've put out there.
A lot of people.
He wants to say a tremendous amount of people. And frankly, I'm on board. People are asking it plays into what we've been talking about. People want to know. There was a lot of anticipation with you coming on the show. I hope you know. Our first guest.
Really?
Yeah, nothing to do with our
Who was
first
anticipating?
Guest.
A lot of people.
6, 7 people.
Yeah, my mom.
Did. My mom said something.
My stepfather, who does what my mom says.
Blair. It's posted all over.
Blair Chang had a lot of questions. Okay. He often does. But let's go into our lightning round.
So on a daily routine, what does it look like on a Sunday? Are you prepping for Monday? On a Sunday. Don't go to a Sunday. I don't want to know what you do in the morning.
It's a lightning round, bud.
Okay, on a Sunday, I'm prepping mentally for sure. In fact, when it starts getting to be the afternoon on Sunday, I wish this wasn't the case, but I get anxiety starts to kick in.
Sunday
mentally prepare.
Anxiety. What did you call it?
Sunday scaries.
Gearing up for the week, but I don't. But if I were to sit down and start planning the week, then I'd feel like I lost my Sunday. So instead, I just stress about it. No, I'm kidding. Instead, I mentally prepare, but I don't actually say this is what I have to do tomorrow.
I like to plan things and write
those.
No,
guys, you guys are missing it. You guys are missing it.
No, because you'll plan it out, and it probably takes. Hold on, probably you writing things down and planning it out takes the stress away.
No, dude, you've got me pegged so wrong. I came from an entertainment background. I never wanted to be in an office. I'm terrible with getting up and being a self-starter. The only reason I have the calendar and the systems is to hold me to some structure I would never, ever, ever be able to do on my own. I put that stuff in place because I'm the complete opposite of that.
But you're making
discipline and commitment.
So what you're talking about, that is you.
No, by the way, this is a compliment. We're not
usually
he's not used to compliments. This is how he reacts.
I think it's a huge compliment. You know how many times I've gone to Ben and be like, so tell me, how do you do this? How do you do this?
Take me to dinner.
Take me to lunch and teach me your ways.
Do you lay out your clothes and plan the next night before?
No.
Are you a list person?
Yes, but the problem is I have 25 different lists and they're all over the place, and then I don't remember where my list is, but I always will find it. I'm the most organized, chaotic person in the same.
Me too.
In the same page.
Body.
I don't know,
what is your morning routine?
Currently, it is try not to hit the snooze button. And try to just jump out of bed, but that gets my cortisol all riled up. Don't look at my phone, brush teeth, whatever, wash face, then put my workout clothes on right away before I leave the room. And then have a liter of water. I mean, that's a must. And then work out. And then I'm a girl, so I have to do my hair, do my makeup, and all of that. I have gone through so many iterations of waking up at 5 a.m., doing celery juice, doing the coffee, doing the meditation, and I think all that's great. But like I said before, I edit the way I do things based on what I need. And right now I need simplicity.
No breakfast is thrown into this mix.
No, just coffee.
What other profession would you do if you could do anything?
I'd be a professional backup dancer for Britney Spears in her prime.
That is hilarious.
That's always been my answer.
Any album choice?
But that's the fun one that I really wish I could have been a dancer, for Britney Spears or Beyonce. But the other professional answer would be a magazine editor.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. I love to write.
You may be editing
I
your
like
own
fashion. I like
soon.
style. I would love to just imagine sitting at home, writing my little columns, and that's...
Scale of 10 before you go on a meeting. Do you feel like you like going in there loose and not that prepared and wing it like Mauricio, or are you mega prepared?
I'm a combination, a hybrid. So I need to prepare the knowledge, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, from experience, I'll know a lot of things, but I also want to remember specific numbers and sales, etc. So I'll commit those to knowledge and then, to mind, to memory. But typically I do not show up with a listing presentation. And that's learned from Mauricio.
I know.
So
he doesn't have time.
It's a bad light, but I think he does. He just has it computerized.
And no, of course, we'll have it in maybe our email inbox. If they ask, we can pull something up. We can send it after. But mostly, I'm going to just connect and vibe with somebody. But I'll be prepared for I'll anticipate all the potential questions, and I'll be prepared to answer them. But I'm just coming to just chat and connect.
What's your pet peeve
in life? Oh, fuck.
There's so many pet peeves.
I know.
Just give us one. I can think of one right now. I hate when people are late. Makes me insane.
Do you not like the person, or
I just think it's a demonstration of someone just being considerate, and I feel like LA is a lot of people that are inconsiderate.
Those people,
I'm always early.
May just be late. It may have nothing to do with being considerate. I have a pet peeve of when I let people in traffic and they don't say thank you.
That's
I
rude.
can't stand not giving the wave. Don't not give me a nod if I let you in.
Must give a wave.
How about you, Farrah? Anything?
Slow walkers.
You like in tight spaces?
You can't go around?
No, the funny part is my sister and I
Speed it up, pal.
No, my sister and I just did an interview recently. Now we're going really deep.
You said that to me, not you.
What do I wake up for? I wake up for small joys, I guess.
Is that right?
Small joys in life, yeah. I look forward to my coffee. I look forward to the sun shining. Yes.
Oat milk creamer.
I guess, yeah. The small joys in life.
The small joys in life.
Yeah.
Do you get off on the small joys? I feel like you don't appreciate them.
Yes, Zach. It's just not about demeaning me. I want to know more about Farrah. Speaking of which, do you have any other questions for her as we wrap?
I think we've covered it. Is there a phrase? Is there an affirmation? Is there something that keeps you going? Because you come across again so poised and professional, but funny behind the scenes. What do you tell yourself?
Yeah, so I say this one all the time, but it's so basic. But it's just so true. Like, what's meant to be will be. And that's a big one. Whatever is meant to be will be.
I need to do better with that.
Yeah.
So good reminder. Thank you.
If it's meant to be,
it's meant to be.
If it's Bishert.
And everything is going to be just fine.
Well,
is that everything's going to work out? That's not a mantra, but just there's so much little things, so many things that I stress about. And you look back and I'm like, why did I stress so much about getting straight A's in school or whatever? None of that even mattered.
Exactly. You don't need any grades of any kind.
You know how many all-nighters I pulled?
Yeah.
Just all the little things.
Love to know. You know what I am super impressed about, what I find is amazing about what's come out of here is I appreciate that you realize what you were born into. The family, the establishment, the company. You acknowledge it and you ride it and you make it your own. And I'll never fault someone for being born into anything. It's what you do with it. And I think it seems like you're doing a lot of great things with it and it's inspiring. And I'm really grateful that you came on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being our first guest. It's going to be really tough shoes for people to fill.
Really?
And follow. Yeah, absolutely. And also,
I don't think we'll do guests anymore after this.
You know what? Why do
One and done.
So, guys, thank you for tuning in. You can find Farrah if you have not already found her.
Should we do a circle?
At Farrah Brittany on Instagram. If you're not watching, you're missing out on a ton. Of course, you can find Zach at ZachGoldsmith24. I'm at Ben Bellac. We will continue to bring you more Los Angeles, what are they called? Influencers, whether they are on real estate shows, restaurateurs, hopefully some Golf Central stuff. But thank you so much. Oh, I would love it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles.
I think we peaked.